Texans make another trade with the Arizona Cardinals. Three things that trade tells us. CJ Stroud speaks with the media about not being the starting quarterback. What did he tell us? And Cal McNair went on Reddit. Okay, let's go inside the locker room.
Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know.
We have another trade. CJ Stroud has spoken, and Cal McNair goes on Reddit. Whatever. Welcome to the locker room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central on Sports Radio 610 and the Odyssey app. This is your number one source for Texans daily digital content. We are in the mix. We talk to players weekly, coaches weekly. We're at every game. We got the pulse of what's going on with the Houston Texans, whether you're a fan or not. Appreciate you for coming through. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. We're approaching the 1-year anniversary of this channel. Interest is increasing in this team. How much interest, who knows? That will be determined on the field this season. But the interest, I guess you couldn't have gone any lower than the dog-butted seasons that we've been through the last couple of years. So the interest has increased. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along. I appreciate you very much for coming through. It is the locker room. Now we have a trade. The Houston Texans make a trade with the Arizona Cardinals. Adam Schefter had the report first. There was sources a few minutes later from others, but Adam Schefter had the report. The Texans get Josh Jones from U of H and a 7th from the Arizona Cardinals for a 5th-round pick. Now, Jones started 11 games last season for the Arizona Cardinals. Titus Howard, starting job, still safe when healthy. Laramie Tunsil, not a threat. But there are some things about this trade that stick out, and I have 3 specifically things that this trade tells us. The Texans acquiring Josh Jones. And this goes back to what we were talking about when we were talking about guys on the bubble, and we were talking about cutting down the 53. Like, a lot of these guys, whether it's the back end of now the tackle spot, although I think your tackles are set, whether it's the back end of the tight end spot, whether it's the back end of the safety spot, whether it's the back end of the corner spot, whether it's the back end of the linebacker spot, there's going to be opportunity for the Texans to get better options from guys that are going to get cut on teams. So you can say so-and-so's on the bubble, like Mason Schreck at tight end, but the Texans could potentially see a tight end out there that is better than Mason Schreck, and they can bring him in. And that's what this Jones thing is. There are 3 things that this trade tells us about the Houston Texans and where they're at. Number one, they have a relationship with Arizona. And I think this is important. Now, you don't want to overdo it, but a lot of times when you have relationships with other organizations, you tend to make moves. And maybe you get first dibs. Maybe you get the first phone call. I saw some New England Patriot fans on my timeline saying, man, we could have made this move. That could have been one of our starting tackles. We could have easily done this. Well, maybe, but Monty Austinford has the relationship with Nick Caserio, also has the relationship with Belichick, but he's actually done business with Nick Caserio with the Will Anderson trade. It's like when Rick Smith was here. When Rick Smith was the GM, they did the Brock Osweiler trade with Cleveland, where they sent the 2nd-round pick and Brock Osweiler to Cleveland. By the way, that 2nd-round pick ended up being Nick Chubb. Just saying. But later on, a few months later, they ended up doing the Deshaun Watson draft day trade. That kind of goes with, building relationships and developing relationships. So what this trade tells us, number one, is the Texans have a relationship with Arizona. The most significant thing this tells us, and this is number 2, Austin Deculus cannot be a play away. Anyone who has watched Austin Deculus in practice, anyone who has watched Austin Deculus in the preseason, more people probably saw him in the first preseason game. The corny ass dad joke after that for me was, we need to see Deculus of Deculus. He cannot be, God bless him. He can develop, maybe he can develop into a good reserve offensive lineman. But at this point, given the fact that you don't want to get your quarterback killed in any situation, and you damn sure don't want to get your quarterback killed when he's number 2 overall pick, Austin Deculus cannot be a play away. You have Titus Howard, you have Laramie Tunsil. You hope that your backup tackles, including Jones, never step on the field. That's the dream scenario. But with Titus already banged up and with the NFL being the NFL and guys are going to get hurt, you can't have Austin Deculus a play away from protecting your quarterback. You just can't. And the Texans knew that. We knew that. And they made that very clear. They went out and got a guy who started last year in the NFL instead of someone who probably won't be in the NFL in a few years in Austin Deculus. Third thing this tells us is Charlie Haack ain't close. Charlie Hack's been your swing tackle the last couple of years. Even started a game at left tackle last year, or left tackle and right tackle last year. When they moved Titus Howard inside, they've done a lot with Charlie Haack. Charlie Haack has gotten a lot of opportunity. He's not moving very well on the sidelines. I don't know how hurt he is. I mean, he's not like on crutches or anything, but he doesn't appear to be very close. So either they think this is an upgrade at Charlie Haack, or Charlie Haack isn't close to stepping on the field, but they don't think Charlie Haack, for whatever reason, is close to being back and being ready to go. Charlie Haack is, I don't know if Charlie Haack plays again for the Texans. Maybe he does. But he does not appear to be close. So to reset, the three things this trade tells us, number one, Texans have a relationship with Arizona. You already knew that. Number two, Austin Deculus cannot be a play away. You damn sure already knew that. Charlie Haack ain't close. Those are the three things. As far as the quarterback, we're talking about guys that could potentially protect the quarterback. What about the quarterback himself? Texans still haven't announced a starter. And I find this kind of funny because I think it's kind of a made-up thing. And I don't think it's like a common talking point. Like, nobody thinks this is a quarterback competition anymore. The Texans aren't even really saying this is a quarterback competition. They just haven't officially come out and said that CJ Stroud is the starting quarterback, but they've made it very clear. He's been getting the first team reps for damn near a month now. So they've told you, they just haven't told you. CJ Stroud, though, what does he think about all that? Cody Stutes put this up on Twitter. Shout out to Cody Stutes. Go check out his channel. Here is CJ Stroud talking about not being named the starter.
Oh, nah, man. I ain't really tripping. I'll just do it. It's on my plate. I'm not worried about nobody else's plate. I got to focus on what we got going on in this locker room, and it's getting better every day, man. It's not about any of that stuff, man. It's about competing every day and just getting better. So whenever that time is about to come, that's not my job. You know what I'm saying? My job is to go out there and play. So I got the fun stuff to do.
Wouldn't expect anything different from CJ Stroud. I got to be honest. I got to confess. I got a confession for y'all. I don't feel any different about CJ Stroud now compared to how I did before camp. And I was not like I wasn't waving the flag for CJ. I was waving the flag for Bryce Young. Most of you on this channel know that. I feel good-ish about CJ Stroud. I feel all right. I'm intrigued. I think if the system is set up for him, and it seems like it will be, I think they could play some winning football. But I don't need to see him in the preseason. I don't need to see anymore. So I know he's going to play a couple of series, and I know some people want to see him. I think I put out a poll, and the overwhelming majority wanted to see CJ Stroud in preseason. I think it was close to 90%. I don't need to. I just want him to jog off that field, put the ball cap on, and get ready for the Ravens. Do you want to see CJ Stroud in the preseason? Put that in the comments. I don't. What am I going to see? Like, if he leads 2 touchdown drives, great. If he struggles, great. We know he's the starter. Maybe I'm just kind of being overly cautious. I just do not need to see it. But that's just me. I don't know. I'm just kind of ready for this preseason to be over with. I'm ready to get ready for the regular season and ready to look ahead to the start of college. That's always fun. The gap between the final preseason game, and then you have the first college Saturday, and then you have the Saturday and Sunday combo. One of the best times of the year. So Cal McNair went on Reddit. The Q&A thing, I think this is the second one that he's done. I'm a fan of Cal and Hannah as a team. I think they're a good duo. Seems like they're kind of finding their groove, and seems like the fans are kind of taking nicely to them. I had some conversations with them. We've had them on the show. I think they balance each other out perfect. I think they're a perfect team, and I think the fans are buying into it. And I think they're hopefully they're putting the right people in position to make decisions. I think the D'Amico Ryans hire was an absolute freaking home run by them. So Cal went on Reddit, and among other things, he talked about the uniforms, and he said there's going to be 4 uniform combinations. We're going to know about them on the 24th. And he also talked about draft day, et cetera. You can go check that out. Cody Stutes, Houston football. If you haven't subscribed, you should. It's worth the $7 a month. I would probably say that even if it weren't, but it actually is. And I probably wouldn't say that. I probably just wouldn't say anything. But it actually is. It's actually the best detailed writing available in town. I would say him and Cabina. As far as like daily localized Texans content, Houston football, Cody Stutes is good. And then the Chronicle subscription, that's 99 cents a month. You got to do that. But that's the best Houston reading that you can get. But I tried to tell you guys that you remember when we got to go, and by we, I say me and some of the other media types got to go and see like the uniform presentation how many ever months ago. And it was really just the clear theme was we're not going to get rid of the logo. We're not going to get rid of some of the traditional stuff. We're going to sprinkle some stuff in. We're going to try to look at H-Town blue and see how to put it in there, but we're not going to have Oilers uniforms. This is an idea of what we're thinking. We're listening to people. They showed some of the stuff, and that was it. And then you had some of these media types come out and act like they saw brand new uniforms. And I came on here just ranting about it, and I went on the radio and was ranting about it. I think it's clear there were no new uniforms shown. I don't even know. I think they know what they look like now, but there were no new uniforms shown. It drove me nuts. So we have the trade, CJ speaking, Cal McNair, plenty more content throughout the week. Post-game show on Sunday. Now usually it's right after the game. Full disclosure, I got a fantasy draft on Sunday, so I'm going to have to drive to the fantasy draft a couple of hours away. I'm actually you see this white space right here? I'm actually going to put up the JJ Watt jersey that he sent me when he left town. He actually says he's a loophole too. So we're going to have this white space right here. It's for a purpose. We're going to have the JJ jersey here. We'll get the post-game show off and running, probably 11-ish, maybe, if I'm being honest. And it'll be fun. And the preseason will be over. So my wish will be complete. I will not have to see CJ Stroud in preseason games anymore. What do you think of the trade? What do you think about CJ Stroud? How do you feel about CJ Stroud? What do you want to see from the Texans uniforms? And what do you think about the new ownership? I wouldn't say regime. It's same-ish, but the layout. And they're able to do a little bit more. Put it in the comments, subscribe, like, ride along. No matter what happens with the Texans, though, when it comes to this Texans content, we are all in this together. Appreciate you coming through.
Not too plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for days, opinions to give. We got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up. We number one. You don't need to try your luck. Locker room, yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize, every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too.